What's up, everyone? Welcome to the most positive pop culture podcast in the multiverse, Metalcore Nerds, a podcast that features members of your favorite bands and explores their love of pop culture. I'm your host, Sean Mott, and today I'm joined by John of Crystal Lake. Welcome to the show.
What's going on, Sean? Thank you for having me, dude. It's hyped to be here.
I am so stoked to have you here. John and I go back a little bit, all right? He used to sing in this band called The Last 7 Seconds of Life that I booked back when I did those things. Yeah. So it's really nice to have you on this and connect this way. It's
nice, this is really cool. This is really cool. I'm glad to be here. This is really fun. We do really have a long history ago, and that band has a long history. So it's been, it was awesome to be a part of that together.
Yeah, it was great, and I'm very, very happy to be doing this as well. Of course, if you're returning to the show or first time listener, thank you so much for tuning into the show. The best way to support the podcast is us on YouTube. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, comment, let us know what you're currently watching, what you think of Crystal Lake. And if you're listening to your favorite podcasting platform, same thing. Hit that subscribe button, hit that 5-star button. Helps the podcast continue to grow and helps more people find the show. And if you want your daily fix of Metalcore Nerds, you can find us on all social media at Metalcore Nerds. I do want to talk about the new album a little bit, just a tiny bit before we get into the pop culture stuff. The Weight of Sound is out now. It just came out last Friday. And I just got to talk about the guest vocal spots on this record. Okay. I'm just going to go down the list. It's crazy. Mike Terry of Volumes and Fire from the Gods, Carl from Misery Signals, Jesse from Killswitch Engage, David from Signs of the Swarm, Taylor from Left to Suffer. Can you tell me what it felt and meant to have this caliber of legendary bands and current awesome bands on this album? And second part, what was the collaborative process bringing them in and having them a part of these songs?
I mean, it felt awesome finally getting to do, an album of this caliber with a bunch of my friends, and to be able to be on songs with Carl and Jesse is mind-blowing, and having them sing parts that we wrote together and stuff, like, it's crazy. I've spoken about it in a handful of interviews now, like Undertow, when Carl comes in, how it just becomes a Mirror song, and we're just like, oh shit, now this is a Misery Signal song. It's so good. You know what I mean? And because I love Misery Signal so much. I have Send Me Home tattooed on my fucking neck. Like, I love that band. Just having someone like Jesse Leach sing on my song, like, are you kidding me? That's like, if I would go back in time and tell my younger self that, like, he'd kick me in the nuts. He wouldn't believe me at all. It feels awesome. Getting it done was sometimes easy, sometimes difficult. It depends on which situation. We really did go through all of our friends that we thought would fit, because there were plenty of people that we wanted on songs, but we didn't have a part that would fit that voice. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And we had to go through who would kind of fit this, who would fit this part, like, and we eventually, made it work. It was really, really, really cool. It was, it definitely took a couple of months to nail it all down, but because I was done in February, but we finished in August. So, wow. I remember being at Summer Breeze with Mike Gitter, and they were talking about getting David on the song, and I was like, yeah, he's gonna do it right now. And I was like, yes, let's go, get it done. I was like, because we gotta just turn this into tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, it's already tomorrow there. Like, let's get it done.
Right. That's so awesome. And I think it's important how you talked about how we wanted to make sure the song fit the people that you wanted on it, because I think that can be a problem sometimes. Because I've heard some guest spots where I feel like they don't even feel like guest spots. They just feel like a random part. And like, I feel like the point of them is they should stick out and they should shine and they should fit the vibe of whoever is singing on it.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that people do that.
I've been super excited about this album. I'm so happy the way everything turned out. There were other people that I wish I could have threw on it, but, like, again, we didn't have parts that would have fitted. Like, I really wanted to ask Travis from Cattle, but where was I going to put Travis from Cattle? You know what I mean? Which kills me because I wanted it so bad, and I was like, I want to ask Travis from Cattle, but I don't have, like, you know what I mean? Like, could you give me a part like that? Give me 15 seconds like that, and I'll, we can do it. And maybe next time. But yeah, like, We went through all of our friends.
It's so hard because I feel like we're in a time where there's so much music out and there's so many bands. It is lost on some bands that putting out a record is really important, and to actually like craft a record rather than just put together a collection of songs. Like we need to get back to that. I'm not saying it's lost. There's bands that put out great records still.
Yeah,
Not saying
sure.
that. I'm just saying it's less than it used to be.
No, I agree. 3 albums that I really, really love recently. I love the latest Acacia Strain album, the latest Whitechapel album, and the latest Architects album. I think those are so good. So good. Especially that Acacia Strain album and that Whitechapel album. Those are, I feel like it's 2005 again. You know what I mean? Like that Acacia Strain album is just as heavy as the Dead Walk. And for me, that's the heaviest album of all fucking time. Like that is literally the heaviest thing ever. And that new album sounds like a zombie dragging a sledgehammer. It's so gross. Really is. It fits them so well. It feels black and white when I listen to it. You know what I mean? Like it like like a horror movie that has no sound. You know what I mean? Like that's the vibe I get from it. It's so good, and it fits him. It fits Vincent's lyric style so well because the Dead Walk had this very like serial killer thing going on in a way, and I feel like even though that might not be any of the concept for the new music at all, the vibe that I get is this very like horror movie thing, and it fits the band in my heart so well. Like I love it. I really do.
It's crazy how that band has continued to stay relevant and stay like on top of their game so many years down the line. And I feel like they're at a spot where they might be at their biggest, maybe, or if not, pretty close, which I think is hard for a band.
I would say, and I love how they continue to play small rooms and they like don't play the bigger rooms and they just stay in the smaller rooms. It's actually admirable as a motherfucker. You know what I mean? It really is, because they don't have to do that. You know what I mean? You know, like they really don't. But I feel like those songs are a trillion times heavier in those venues. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because it gets so much more out of control because there's so much less control of what's happening already. It's like, it's really cool. Stays very true to who they originally were. If you've ever gone, if you're like, if I'm 37, if you remember going to Acacia Strain shows when the Dead Walk came out and how he used to come out and be like, please don't fight or we're not allowed to come back. This is whoa, shut it down. Like, and then 5 fights would break out like immediately.
Yep.
It was great. One of my favorite bands ever. I have
exactly
Everyone Will Suffer tattooed on my chest. Like
that's awesome. Fuck yeah. That's so cool. Yeah. Shout out Acacia Strain for being continually
take me on tour,
awesome.
Please. I want to go on tour Acacia Strain so bad. Weirdest lineup ever, please.
I love mixed genre line. Well, not saying mixed genre is so fucking weird, I guess, but you're all heavy bands. I guess, you know, like you guys are like a metalcore band, they're like a deathcore metal band, whatever, but who cares? Who gives a fuck?
So much heasier than us.
Yeah.
Their fans would beat up our fans for sure. 100%.
That's probably true.
It's very real.
It is real.
But great bands. One of my favorite bands to see live. One of my favorite bands growing up. That new album, like I said, is killer as fuck. And even that new Whitechapel album is very, very, very just classic to who they are. It was very like Hold My Beer of them in a way. If you like when you listen to the album and you listen to how heavy it is, it was very like, wait, hold on a second. Do not forget. Like it was sick. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a level of like spite to that album where they're like, hold up.
Yo,
we gotta show y'all who we are.
You can tell that they are like, we want to sound, they sound like how they used to. I don't know if that was on purpose, but it sounds like and I don't mean that they've changed in a bad way. Their older songs have a different tenacity than certain newer songs that went a newer direction, which is not a bad thing. But the newer album that they put out is very, 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 very awesome. And it reminds me of like what you would have expected after like you would have expected back then, not even after anything. It sounds like it's coming from them, which is cool that they can, you know, that they didn't lose that. They just, you know, they're always them. It's awesome. It's such a great album. Like, it's so good.
Yeah, I got to see them live on the album play a few months ago, and they sounded perfect.
Dude,
Like,
literally one of the best bands. Phil's one of the greatest vocalists. It is so crazy. Just like seeing them live. I got to see them while I was on tour with Crystal Lake. Brand of Sacrifice was on tour with us, or was on tour with them, and they put us on the guest list. We were in Portland or Washington or Boston. I don't fucking know. I forget. And it was cold. I walked. I had ramen. And Whitechapel was just so good. It was so good. They've always been that level, that band that has that level of sound. Like, they're so sick.
I want to get into some pop culture stuff, but so I want to get into the beginning. We talked about doing this, I think, right after you joined Crystal Lake, and now it's finally happening. So it's been a minute, but I know you're big into horror movies and stuff. I don't know what else you're into, so I want to take it back.
It's good that we're not doing this on the phone because I can touch my phone while we do this. I have a list of movies.
That's amazing. Before we get into the stuff you're watching now or you're currently loving, I want you to go back into like what got you into movies, what got you into TV when you were younger. What was the inciting incident that got you into this stuff and made you fall in love with it?
That's awesome, actually. That's a great question. It would have been hanging out with my dad. And my dad always had a lot of movies on, and it was just kind of a way for us to pass the time if there wasn't something to do. But I would always watch the Christmas movies, like the old Frosty the Snowman and the old like Rudolph and all that, and then like the original Batman's where he's in like the blue suit. You know what I mean? Like that old Abbott and Costello movies. I was watching like Mrs. Doubtfire and Jurassic Park, and then it starts to move up as I get older and stuff. And Mrs. Doubtfire is actually a key turning point in my whole life, actually, because it's kind of where I simultaneously fall in love with movies and rock and roll at the same time, because that movie, not only did I love it, but Dude Looks Like a Lady gets played in the movie, and it's a big part of that scene. And for some reason, and I think it was because he gives that guy the finger when he's looking out the window, that kind of led me on to like, oh, who's this band? Who's that band? Even though I had already been listening to rock and roll, because that's not the start of rock and roll for me, but it was where I kind of like had the fall in love with it moment of like, I like rock. Who's this band? You know what I mean? And my dad that was the first album that I wound up getting, you know what I mean, was Aerosmith, because of how much I loved the song and how much I loved Mrs. Doubtfire.
I like how you said it's not the reason you found rock and roll, but it's like the reason where you're like, oh, what is that? Who is that? I need to find out more about that. It gave you like the thirst to find new music.
Yes, it also gave me the Aerosmith is the band that, and that whole jumping around thing that he does with the guitar is what gives me the vibe of being like, I want to know the curiosity of like, what is rock and roll live? You know what I mean? Like, what is that meaning of stage? What is that meaning of like being the singer? How does that look? How does that person look? Who are they? Like, you know what I mean? You're very impressionable.
Shout out Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, all for Mrs. Doubtfire. Funny ass, one of the funniest movies ever. Still to this day, holds up now, 100%. You know, and I think that song is about Vince Neil, so it still holds up. I'm pretty positive Vince Neil threatens Tyler backstage with like a gun or something like that, and then they break it up, and he writes that song about him. I'm pretty positive that's the thing. Someone tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that's real.
I hope that's real.
Me too.
Sounds awesome.
It's hysterical. It makes it even funnier. Like,
so much
super duper hit song.
It's crazy also because like Mrs. Doubtfire, because there was this show on Hulu called Chad Powers that started Glenn Powell, based on like a skit like the Manning brothers did, where I can't remember which one. I'm not a sports guy, so forgive me. But both are producers on the show, but one of them like went in disguise and like played football in like a college team or something for a while, and no one noticed it was him. And this is kind of the same thing. He was like a star college QB. He super messed up because he was just a dick, even though he was incredible. And he totally fucked it all up. And then his dad he does like makeup in Hollywood. And he found this like makeup thing that makes him look like this like ugly, goofy looking dude, which if you know Glenn Powell is, he's like one of the most attractive men ever. He's just like a good looking fucking dude. And so he has this thing, and then he goes and he tries out for this college team. And then he like turns this whole college program around. And what sparks his idea is that he's going to return something, the makeup that he uses, because it's like prosthetics that you put on and then blend it in with makeup. And he goes to return it at the studio lot, and he sees like a thing for Mrs. Doubtfire, like because like that's where Mrs. Doubtfire was filmed or whatever.
Yeah.
And he saw it, and he goes, "Wait a second," and that's how he gets the idea to do it, which is
That's
crazy.
crazy.
You know, it's like, and it was a cool thing to be like, yeah, that's how iconic that movie still is. That, you know, decades later, they're
That's
using
so
it as a
crazy.
touchstone for this big, you know, TV show. So that's
wild.
it's cool. I don't know. It's like that movie and Flubber are such core memories for me when I was younger of watching movies. I'm pretty positive Flubber was the first movie I ever saw in a theater.
Yo, so you're gonna make fun of me? My girl was just making fun of me too. I've never seen Flubber.
Dude, Flubber is awesome.
That's what she said. She said, "What's the matter?" She was like, "We have to break up." So I'm moving out. That's why I'm doing this interview in my garage right now. I'm not allowed in the house.
Not until you watch Flubber. You better change that.
Not until I watch Flubber.
Flubber's great. Definitely watch Flubber, for sure. But you said you have a list.
Oh,
let's start digging into that list. What do you got here? What do you got?
Let's go,
Let
dude.
me see.
So it's in no like real particular order, other than I think I put all the does together. But so like I have a huge list of movies that I've watched, right? These are all movies that I've gone through, and then these are movies that I want to watch. So
John, have you ever heard of Letterboxd?
No, what is that?
So Letterboxd is an app where you log all the movies you've watched and you rate them.
That's cool. I like that.
You should download Letterboxd. It'll be way easier than having a notes app. And there's a watch list where you can add all those movies you want to watch.
That's cool. That's sick.
I'll send you the link after this. So
I have a ton of them. One really cool one that I saw recently was called Bugonia.
I need to watch this one, but I love Yorgos Lanthimos, the guy who directed that.
Dude,
movie. He's a psycho.
Don't want to spoil it at all. I think they showed their boobs a little too much at the end. And I think if they would have kept their shirt on, I would have fell in love with it more. I loved it the whole time until they pulled off their skirt. And then I was like, I didn't like that they didn't leave mystery. You know what I mean? They did a couple of things. Because the movie it doesn't go the way you think it's going to go at all. Like you think like, oh yeah, it's definitely this, but it's not. It's something else, and it's crazy. But they show you, and that's what I was like, you shouldn't have fucking showed me. Like you should have just like drifted away and done something else, and then kind of capped off. Because the way they cap off at the end of all of it is cool. They just showed you too much before they got to it. You know what I mean? Like,
gotcha. Yeah.
I just wanted to see the nut. I didn't want to see the dick coming. Like it was really, really, really good movie though. I really loved it the entire time. I think it's going to be up for Academy Awards, so definitely watch.
Yeah, there's definitely been some love for it, and he's kind of like an Oscar darling. People love him. Emma Stone won Best Actress for Poor Things that came out a few years ago.
Yes,
that movie also has a lot of nudity in it.
Another one that I always talk about is The Killing of a Sacred Deer. You ever watch that?
That movie is fucking crazy.
That's a great movie. I love that one because that's also very mysterious because you're very like, how? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very, very, very good. I love that. I love a lot of A24 movies. I think a lot of them are very out there and creative, even if they are kind of odd, you know?
Yes.
I really, really love them. I'm not sure if this is an A24 movie, but Presence, I watched that recently. That was great.
It's not, but
it's not.
It is Steven Soderbergh. It's Steven Soderbergh.
That's a
I think it was Neon, which they're the same as
A24. Yeah. That was really good. That reminded me of the movie Ghost Story. Ever see that?
Oh wow. Okay.
That was really good. Like the guy who like gets hit by the car outside of his house and he becomes a ghost in his house and he leaves the note and it like time reloops and he has to like pick the note out of the wall to like, that movie kind of reminded me of that. I thought Presence was really good. That also went differently than I thought it was going to go. That was really cool.
I like movies like that. I like movies that take it differently than where you think they're going to go.
As far as horror movies though, like I would say like my number one would probably be like Hereditary.
It's a great one.
Yeah,
it's a great one.
Oh, and I'm sorry, actually, The Witch. I would say The Witch over Hereditary.
Another great one.
Yes,
another great one.
I would definitely say The Witch because The Witch made me feel like when I was done with it, I was like, that was fucked up. I want to watch that again. Like, and immediately put it back on. Like,
I'm due for a rewatch of The Witch. I love Robert Eggers. The Witch is awesome, but I haven't watched it in a long time.
Incredible movie.
Definitely.
You need subtitles like to really like grab it because it's so old English that you are like,
what the fuck are they saying?
Yeah. Did you watch the new Alien show?
Oh yeah, I sure did.
That was really good.
I sure did. I got to interview two of the cast of that show.
That's really sick.
Yeah.
I love that.
The main girl Wendy and her brother. I got to interview them.
It was really awesome. Sick.
Yeah,
man, that was a great show. I love the Alien story. Like same thing with Predator. Those are two movies that are classic, like that come from, back when you would have seen like a Freddy movie or a Michael Myers movie, but they've really stood the test of time and they've stayed good. There's only like really like one or two that are like,
Yeah, I feel like it's such a good time to be an Alien and Predator fan because there's just so much good shit coming out around both franchises that I love. Did you see the new Predator movie? Predator
No,
Badlands?
I want to. I was a little disappointed when I saw that he talks. When I saw it in the trailer, I was like, oh, he talks. But like, I do want to see it. I haven't watched it yet. Is it good?
He talks in full yacht though.
Yeah. But he speaks.
It's sick.
It's going to be psycho.
To me, I love it. Because it kind of takes, because he's the main character, and then the other main character is a Weyland-Yutani synthetic. There's no humans.
Yeah, the robot, which is connecting them to aliens.
Yes. It's like, I think it's like one of the best, probably the best movie that has alien and predator things in it at once. People got mad that it was rated PG-13. It's because there's no red blood. There's a decapitation in the opening scene. Believe me, there's a lot of violence.
It's because there's no red blood. That's interesting because
red blood is what constitutes an R rating. It's crazy.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's the biggest things with R is like nudity, saying fuck more than once, and red blood.
That's weird.
And those are the things. Like, yeah, all the humans in the movie are just synthetics. I love how they connected the world. It gives you kind of a deeper look into the Predator lore and adds in some new stuff like that. There's also a movie on Hulu called Predator Killer of Killers, and it's an animated movie.
I want to watch that.
It's the new guy, Dan Trachtenberg. He did Prey, he did Killer of Killers, and Badlands.
Prey rules. I was just gonna say Prey was great.
He did all of them. He's the guy now. He's just the Predator guy, and I don't think there could be anyone better than him because everything he does feels different, but it feels still true to what Predator always was, and he's just awesome. He's great.
Yeah, I do want to start like watching more Predator stuff because I do get kind of like sucked into work even when I'm not on tour, and I would love and when I do get a chance to watch TV, it's usually Baby Shark or Miss Apple right now. So I haven't gotten a chance to watch anything. I do sometimes get to watch my movies, but I haven't gotten a chance to like really like binge like I used to be able to sit there and like eat and do my thing. And now
for hours.
Now I'm banished to the garage. But it's okay. I really do love being a dad a lot. Like,
good.
I really did. It's awesome.
That's good. That's great to hear. I love to hear that. I love to hear my friends.
I feel like
doing grown-up things.
It fits me. It's weird. And she's awesome.
I get it.
This morning was the first. She's been starting to get really attached to me. And like, if I try to leave for work this morning, she was like freaking out that I was leaving, which made me late to work because I didn't want to leave. And I was like, sorry. My daughter was crying for me not to leave. I don't want to leave. My boss was like, I'll just leave. I was like, yeah, I'm sure you do. But
I'm sure you do.
I'm sure you do, but I'm not gonna do that. I
Oh
love
my
her.
god! Did watch a newer movie last night though. It's on. Well, it just dropped on Paramount Plus, but The Running Man, which also stars Glenn Powell. I brought up Glenn Powell earlier.
How is that?
I didn't even mean to do that. It's pretty good. I really liked it, but it's also very depressing because I can see this happening in real life in like 2 to 5 years, which sucks. It takes place in a futuristic America. The gap between the rich and the poor is even farther than it is now. And this poor guy who has been blacklisted from every job, pretty much this corporation owns everything. It owns the networks, it owns the news, it owns the government, everything. And the only job he can get is these network TV shows. And they're all like a bunch of game shows that are like insanely embarrassing. One of the ones they show is you have to answer questions while you're running on a hamster wheel. And this poor guy has been blacklisted from all the normal jobs. And all the reasons he's been blacklisted is just him just trying to be a good guy.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just taking it out on him. And so and his daughter is sick. His little baby girl is sick, has the flu, and they don't have enough money to like pay for proper medication for his kids. So as a last ditch effort, he's like, hey, I've been watching shows and seeing how much people win. I'm going to go and try out for it. And then he goes and tries out for it. He's obviously a very angry guy.
I can relate.
Circumstances happening makes sense. Of course, he's angry. I think any of us in that situation would also be angry.
Would be super angry. Yeah, I'm just thinking about it. Like, be so pissed.
Exactly. And then he ends up going on The Running Man, which is this game where if you survive for 30 days being hunted down by this like elite group of guards that they've hired, and you're on camera every day. There's these like floating orb cameras that follow you around. If you survive 30 days, you win like $1 billion. Cool. But like no one's ever won, so it's like, it's obviously like all rigged, and it's like a huge, like, like fight the power kind of movie, which is really cool. So it's cool. Like I really liked it. I was just also kind of depressed after because I was like, fuck.
Yeah, dude.
Like, that feels a little too real. Not that it's happening now, but like I feel like it could happen. I feel like it could happen, and that sucks. I don't like that.
Yeah, we have like the world is crazy. It's so weird. It's so in your face when I'm home, and then when I'm away and I'm in other places. I don't know if it's just because I'm in another country, but like no one focuses on it. Like my band doesn't ever talk about politics, And it's when you come home to America, it's like so much is happening. I really, really, really like to stay like in the peace zone, but everybody wants to fight right now. You can't say the right thing no matter who you are. You know what I mean? Like you can be liberal and say something, and then everyone else hates you, and be right, and then everyone else hates you. It's like I think everyone feels cornered right now, and I don't know how. I wish we all I wish we could all stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because it's spiraling and we're doing it, but we want it to stop too, but we don't know how. And we're like, they're doing it. It's like, we're all doing it. Everyone stop.
And you're right. Like it's hard because everyone gets driven to extremes. And I don't think extremes are good in any circumstance, whether they're good or bad. That's why they're called extremes.
Yes.
And a lot of it needs to get met in the middle. And obviously social media is a massive amplification of all of these things. And we all kind of feed into that machine as much as we say we don't. We do. I'm guilty of it.
Same.
It's just hard because I wish you could, like you said, like I wish you could say something and not be. I will preface this with, as long as you don't say something that's like outwardly hurting someone else's well-being. But if you're just saying something normally, like I think when I posted about Predator Badlands, so many people called me like a woke leftist person about how I reacted to a movie, and that's kind of wild.
Yeah,
they're bringing it into that thing. And like I guess everything is political in a certain way. Like a lot of media is political, music is political, like a lot of it is at its root core is that thing. But you're just like automatically label someone as something just for the way they reacted to a piece of media. It's kind of crazy.
No, I agree. That's kind of what I'm talking about. Like in America, everyone kind of accumulates who you are and what you're doing as to what you kind of believe in politically. Everything you do is like, oh, you're this type of person, you're that type of person. And that's not really a thing when I'm not home. And that's kind of what I mean. Like You're
get that.
very free from it, like you used to be when I go to other places, because people are not thinking in that type of way. Like, you might have an opinion, and my opinion might be different, and you're like, oh, how about them Yankees? We're so pissed here sometimes for no damn reason. That's why I escape into movies and stuff like that. And I used to escape
Yeah.
into video games, but I haven't played video games in like a year. I really, really, really. Sony keeps sending me emails that I owe them $1,200 because I need to buy a PS5 and GTA 6. Because every couple of years, Sony is like, "Oh, we have a new PlayStation and a new Grand Theft Auto. Pay us."
Oh
Like,
my god.
and I'm
Pay
like,
us.
"Oh yeah, okay." And that's what happens when they had the PS4. They were like, a couple of years went by, and they were like, "Hey, John, Red Dead Redemption 2 is out. You need to buy a PS4 and Red Dead 2. Give us your money."
Give
And that's
us
pretty much
your
what they're
money.
doing now. They're like, "Hey, dude, we've been waiting a couple of years now, but GTA 5 is coming out, and you're gonna have to pay us that grand you owe us and get PS5 and GTA 6." Like, they're like the Mafia, dude. They're always strong arming me. It's fucked up, but it's literally true. Like, every decade or so, Sony's like, "Hey, we need that $1,000 just so you know." They do it to everybody. They're like the fucking church, but they just do it from their fucking high tower and wherever the goddamn fuck that shit that high security their headquarters is.
Comparing Sony to the Mafia is so insane, but I love it so much.
It's so like that. They know I'm gonna pay them. You know what I mean? They know
Right.
that, like, I'm not
Right.
gonna just watch my driver play fucking PS5 at his house while he eats fucking Lunchables off his stomach. You know what I mean?
Right.
And call him personal charcuterie boards. I'm not gonna fucking hear that. He's got a PS5. He's like, "Yo, you gotta get on his PS5. You gotta play GTA 5." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, dude." Sony keeps messaging me about it.
Sony.
I know. He's like their little guard dog, dude. You know?
Oh my
They have all
god.
their
Yeah,
minions
he's the
telling me,
plant,
like,
dude.
all the Matrix bots keep reminding me that I gotta pay Sony.
That's how it works, man.
Apparently.
That's how
My girl's like,
works.
"You better not buy a fucking PS5. I swear to God, we have hospital bills to pay." And I'm like, "I'm not. I'm gonna, like, get one and, like, pay it off." You know?
Like a real American adult.
Yeah, dude, I'm American. I'll put it on a credit card. Don't worry, it's plastic on it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's fake money. It's fine. It doesn't matter.
It's all fake anyway. There's no money in Fort Knox.
It is all fake. You're
There's
right.
cereal in there.
I did watch 2 other things I want to talk about. Have you ever watched the show Shrinking at all, John?
No, I have not. Tell me about it.
Shrinking is a show on Apple TV. It stars Jason Segel and Harrison Ford and Jessica Williams, and it's created by Bill Lawrence. He's created such shows as Scrubs and Ted Lasso.
That's sick.
So he has a pretty good track record.
Yeah.
But season 3 is about to come out on January 28th, and I've seen the whole thing. So Jason Segel and Harrison Ford both are therapists.
Okay.
Jason Segel works for Harrison Ford. He owns the practice. And the way you start it is Jason Segel's character, Jimmy, his wife got killed in a car accident, and now he's alone with his teenage daughter. And instead of dealing with his grief, he turned to drugs and sex. And that's how he's been drowning his grief for years, until he finally wakes up one day and he's like, "I'm really fucking up as a therapist and as a father and as a friend, and I need to change it." And that's kind of how season 1 starts. So season 1's all about accepting all of these problems and these faults, and not just him, other people too, because it ends up, it's focused around him, but obviously all the other characters get involved and everything like that too. And then the second season was mostly about forgiveness. And that's in many other. I'm not trying to spoil anything for anyone who hasn't gotten to the show, because I feel like everyone should watch the show, because I really think it helps you reevaluate things, especially like grief and friendship and relationships and everything like that. It's a great show. And then season 3 is all about moving forward. And I know Bill Lawrence came out and he's like, originally I planned this only for 3 seasons. And a lot of it does feel like it's kind of like wrapping up in this nice little bow, but they definitely leave it so it can continue. And he said, he's like, "I'm definitely planning on continuing the show." This is the best Harrison Ford has ever acted in anything ever.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's not a fucking joke. Like,
that's really
obviously
cool.
I know he was Indiana Jones. I know he was Han Solo, Let's not act like those are like massive acting roles. Like he's just the man in those, and he does that very well. He is so good in this show. He's been nominated for a few Emmys, a few Golden Globes, but he's never won. And I fully believe he deserves to win because he is so incredible. He has these moments of like monologues and like conversations with people in the show that have just made me bawl my fucking eyes out. And it's one of those shows where it's funny, but it'll make you cry too. It'll get you both ways. And Bill Lawrence knows how to toe that line. People saw it in Scrubs. I love Shrinking. Everyone needs to watch the show if they haven't. Third season's coming out. So if you haven't got on it, get to binging. You got 2 seasons to get through to get caught up.
I like anything with a good cry.
Yeah. It feels therapeutic, you know. It feels like a release.
yeah. You know, I can't strangle people, so crying is the next best thing.
I mean, yeah. That's a better alternative, I think. So.
Yeah.
I think.
They'll cry about it.
Yeah, less lawsuits or jail time with crying.
I don't need any of that.
Because of that, and when I finished that, I started rewatching Scrubs because I don't think I ever finished it. So I was like, I'm just gonna start watching it. It's kind of been like my bedtime show as I'm like kind of watching and half paying attention. And I've also been watching it as I've been on the treadmill recently. It's been a good treadmill show. It's just a great show. It's such a fun show. I told my friend who's also a massive Scrub fan, I was like, hey, I should know I'm rewatching Scrubs. And he's like, oh, I can't wait to get the episodes that make you cry. And I was like, God damn it. I was like, I'm sure they're coming.
In Scrubs?
Yeah, he told me there's like a few episodes that are like real tearjerkers. And I'm like, fuck, great. And I also forgot that Brendan Fraser is in season 1.
That's right.
I was like, holy shit.
That's right.
There's a ton of like wild like guest stars or cameos in it that I was like, okay,
that's
cool.
a great show though. Scrubs rules.
It is really great.
Yeah. It's
coming back too. Did you know that?
Yes, I did hear about that.
Yeah, this year sometime. I think it's soon-ish.
That's really cool.
Yeah, and that also has kind of inspired me to rewatch so I can watch the new show and I'm sure you can watch it without feeling confused or anything. I just don't remember where the characters left off.
Yeah.
So yeah. I want to get there so I know where we're at with the show. But it's I don't know, like this whole new wave of continuing things decades later, for the most part for me has worked. I don't know. Like Top Gun Maverick, great. The new Scream movies, great. Cobra Kai, amazing. So it's like, not all are good. The I Know You Did Last Summer movie was very fine, not that great.
It really depends for me. I love how we can create good movies still, but I feel like we can't create good ideas anymore. We keep redeveloping the same old idea in new ways over and over and over. And like there's so many sequels to movies that came out when you were a kid, as opposed to when you were a kid, something had like 2 or 3. You know what I mean? And then there was a new movie. And they kind of like overdo certain things. There doesn't need to be 6 Indiana Jones and 9 Star Wars. You know what I mean? Like there doesn't need to be 11, Halloween movies. Like
true.
It's different with movies like The Mummy where they keep remaking it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's like the kind of like this almost like this Hollywood trend to like remake The Mummy every once in a while, and they're gonna do it again, and they're gonna make it scary apparently now instead of like an action adventure. And I think that's a little soon for them to redo The Mummy. I think they just did it like 8 years ago,
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. With Tom Cruise.
Yeah, with Tom Cruise or whatever the fuck it was, like 2016. I guess 10 years, right? Whatever. I like when something has a good idea. That's kind of why I like the artsy horror movies. It almost doesn't affect me if the movie's not good, but the idea of what you were trying to do was good, because I feel like there's so little of that, almost matters just as much as the Emmy acting. 2 great movies that are like that is like the Lighthouse, which is another favorite of mine, and The Lobster. You know what I mean? These are weird movies. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with like The Killing of a Sacred Deer, for example, or Hereditary, or Midsommar. You know what I mean? Like these are movies that are attempting to do something. I like that. whether you like it in its entirety or not. Same thing with Begonia. Begonia is like a very basic idea of like, an alien from like, is it an alien from outer space? Like, pretending like to be a human. Is it really human? Like, it's kind of like the age old tale.
3 movies from last year. I'm wondering if you saw, because I think they fit that mold. And I would say, and they were my 3 favorite movies last year: Weapons, Sinners, and One Battle After Another.
So I want to see One Battle After Another. I watched Weapons. I haven't seen Sinners yet. Oh, Sinners we watched. Yes, I watched Sinners. That's with those 2 brothers, right?
Yeah, well, yeah. Michael B. Jordan plays himself twice, but yes, they're brothers in the movie.
Yeah. I thought Sinners was good, and then one thing after another, I want to watch that one. Weapons, I really, really liked. I thought it was really, really creative. I just thought that I wanted more backstory.
They are doing a prequel movie about Aunt Gladys.
Yeah, I need more of like, where does the voodoo come from? You know what I mean? Because that's pretty much what's happening here. Like, another movie that I really fucking love is Vivarium.
What was it?
That?
Vivarium?
Vivarium.
What is that?
If you can look up trailers right now, Vivarium is a movie about an alien civilization that recruits you to raise their children through a realty company, and they trap you in their cul-de-sac.
Yeah, I've never even heard of this. This looks crazy.
Yeah, that was a good one. I liked Long Legs too. Friendship. Did you watch that recently? That's a new A24 movie. That was really good.
I did. I am kind of hit or miss with Tim Robinson. Sometimes I think he's really funny. Sometimes I think he's just yelling.
I think that's kind of why I liked it. I think he tried to make you laugh the whole time, and it fed into the whole character of like, this guy's not funny.
Did you watch The Chair Company on HBO?
No, The Chair Company. That sounds cool. What is that?
So it's an HBO show, but it stars Tim Robinson.
Oh, yeah. I haven't watched that yet. I want to watch that, yes.
That is actually like pretty damn good. If you love Friendship, I think it's like the better version of Friendship in a lot of ways. Cool. To me, like, it feels like because I think the thing with Friendship, while I liked it and I liked Paul Rudd and his character, there wasn't really a point to the movie. With The Chair Company, there's like a through line of the story, and it is also so weird. Like, the finale is so weird. Cool. But it fits him, and it got renewed for season 2, so there's more coming, which I'm glad, because the ending is so, you're like, what the fuck do you mean the season's over? What are you talking about? So I'm excited to get more of that. But you would love if you love Friendship and you love Tim Robinson, you'll love that show. You'll be obsessed with that show. I guarantee it.
A movie I watched recently with my girl was Together.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
That was a really good one. Yeah, I really liked that one. That was, again, a really good idea. Very, very cool idea of the DNA like interacting with each other like that. And I like the idea of if you accept it and you love each other, you'll be okay. But if you deny it, you become that grotesque thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, if you're not meant to be each other, you can't set, like, you can't, you can't. Juror number 2 was also very good.
That was a very good movie.
That was very good. That was
a slept on movie. Very slept on movie.
Yes. And this is what I mean. There are movies that people like, it doesn't, because it doesn't have explosions in it or superheroes, or it's not a sequel, people kind of sleep on it, right? But you gotta pay attention to watch a movie where you don't know what it is. You know what I mean? You don't have to know the story in order to be interested in a movie. It doesn't have to be Transformers or fucking Avengers or Star Wars for you to know like what the fuck is going on. It's cool when you don't know what's happening,
100%.
Like, I like how one movie that I will say that has a lot of remakes but doesn't ever coincide with itself, which kind of makes it okay, Godzilla. Right? You can there's dozens of Godzillas, right? And not all of them connect at fucking all. That's kind of the cool part about it. When you get a new Godzilla, you're almost like, what are we going to get this time? You know what I mean? Like the new one that just came out, like -1, that was phenomenal. That's the best Godzilla in a long time.
Sequel coming this year.
Yeah.
Wait.
-2.
Well, -0.
Is it
-2?
-2, dude.
Yeah, dude, Godzilla -2, you know.
I like how it's -0 because we're counting up because it's the next one up. That's funny.
Yeah, it's cool. That movie was so beautiful and so amazing, and
Yeah.
oh my god,
It's because they
I
made
completely-
it. They made Godzilla. They treated the movie like, and I'm going to use a really lame movie as an example, but they treated the movie like the way A Perfect Storm is, like how there's these dudes in this turmoil and the storm is happening and they can't fight it because it's just a natural disaster that's occurring. Like, but they're a dad who's gonna, who can't get back to his son now, and a husband who can't get back to his wife who's waiting for him, who's pregnant, and it's this whole thing that they set up, but the storm happens. So this is kind of like the same type of thing. Like there's this whole situation happening between this man and this woman, and then Godzilla happens. You just so happen to love Godzilla and want to watch him throw trains and shit. You know what I mean? But they connected you to those people emotionally, and they
Yes.
haven't done that for you yet. Like
No.
not like that. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
definitely not.
definitely not. You know.
That's the biggest problem with the modern Godzilla stuff is definitely the people. At least the American made Godzilla stuff is definitely
You're making it too much about the monster fight, and I know that people are like, "Oh, I want to watch the monster fight." That's what video games are for, dude. This is the movies. Like Godzilla needs to be a lot like the zombies in The Walking Dead.
And I'll tell you,
You know,
there is a Godzilla show that's connected to the MonsterVerse. It's called Monarch: Legacy of Monsters.
Oh yeah. So I wish I had Apple
Good.
TV to watch that because I want to watch that really bad.
It's solid, and they actually have characters that matter, and that you're like, oh, I like this person. Compared to the
I
movies.
like this person. Don't
the
die.
movies were like, yeah, they can die. Who cares?
Yeah.
Whatever.
But
there's a second season of that coming out next month too. So it's
what is it?
It's a solid show, and it's cool. Like I'm kind of hoping they bring these characters onto the movies, which I don't know if that's the plan at all. I have no idea, but I think they should because they are way better than any of the characters in the movies by a long shot. Don, thank you so much for doing this, man.
Yeah, dude. Thank you for fucking having me, man. We've been bullshitting for like an hour. I've been rambling about movies and shit.
That's the point.
My ADHD is shining.
That's the point.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of this. So mission accomplished.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, please let the people know what Crystal Lake's got going on and where they can find you this year.
We got the new album coming out on January 23rd. We're going on tour with Miss May I March and February. I don't think about when I'm leaving. And then after that, we're going on tour with Of Mice and Men in Australia. That's going to be sick. You can find Crystal Lake on Instagram. You know what I mean? You can find us on Spotify. And you can find me on Instagram too. Bullfrog Mafia. Follow your boy.
Oh yeah, I'll make sure and link everything down below. So if you aren't following John and Crystal Lake, go do that. And if you want to support the podcast, it's just you can go to milknerds.com. All our links there in one easy place. If you want to follow me on a personal account, it's just @SeanXMod on Instagram and Twitter. And until next time, see you later, nerds.